Welcome back. Today is a smoke day and we are going to have brisket. It is going to be a hot and fast method because our smoker doesn't go that low. If you're new here, my name is Kathryn. I'm the Aerogarden Homesteader and I am trying to learn some basic homesteading skills that I can use in my everyday life to try to make things better or maybe to save money. Come and join me. So I am going to get this all cut up, and by get it all cut up I mean trim some fat and try to get out these hard lumps of fat. The reason to do this is you don't need all that fat on there, but the hard fat will not render down. But on the flip side, the hard fat can be rendered down separately and turned into tallow. So while I'm no expert on how to clean up a brisket, I do want to mention that doing a brisket is kind of like a low entry way of kind of learning how to do some basic butchering. So I highly recommend giving it a try. Now, like I said, I'm not very good at this. I will struggle along and you'll see me turning it a few times and trying to figure out where I am and where everything is. And this is a, what do you call it, like a primal cut? This is essentially a raw brisket. There is no processing done to this poor brisket. So I have to do all the processing myself, which is fine, but it does take a little bit longer. It does mean I have a little bit more of that hard fat cap that I can, it's not really a fat cap, but I have more of that fat, the hard chunky fats that are on the side, and I can save that, which I do, and I can render it. I also had like a really thin section on the side, so I end up cutting that off, and I end up saving that so I can use it for grind later. We do not have a meat grinder, but I could always put it in a food processor if I had to. But either way, I'm going to save it because it is a chunk of meat. I can always use it for something, even if I can't figure out a use for it right now this second. So now I cut this brisket up really early this morning, so I've just kind of pushed through and got it done. Yeah, I'm not that great at butchering things, but I'm good enough that I can get it done. Which means I'm not good at all, but it gets done. And then I threw it on the smoker. We are using a pellet grill. We are using a pellet smoker, and I have it set for 300, which that is part of the hot and fast, but it did go really hot fast, which I guess is the technique, but I felt like it hit 190 really fast, like within 2.5 hours. So I turned it down to 200 just to kind of hold it there for a little while, because I do really want to break down all that interconnected fat and, you know, render the fat and break down some of the interconnective tissues. So definitely stay tuned. I will be doing another video in the fall on how to render out this fat. This is going to make good tallow. The last time I did it, I found it had a bit of a beefy flavor to it. So I'm going to try to render it and purify it this time. So we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned for that. Because it is a technique I am still in the process of learning. Just like learning how to butcher meat, which I'm not very good at. There's still a little fat rendered on the top here, so I'll let it go a little longer. The internal temperature is up to 194. I did turn the temperature down on the smoker quite a bit because it went a lot faster than I expected. So we will just let it keep trucking along until it starts drying out and getting a little crispier and forming a bark on top. Then I need to wrap it and let it truck along until everything's nice and tender. Still have a little fat pooling on the top, so I'm going to let it keep going. I'm still at 192, so it's just takes a while. That's just the nature of the beast. So I think the brisket is close. I am going to get some foil ready. It might still have some grease pockets on top, but that's probably okay at this point. I will be turning the temperature up so that I can take it up to the 200 and whatever it needs to be. It's just going to be over 200, I think. So this is heavy duty foil. It helps to use the heavy duty stuff because it doesn't rip as easily. Mine got damaged on the side, and so it doesn't roll very well. And in order to keep your cookie sheet clean, if you put your foil down and then you put your meat on the foil on the sheet, you don't have to get it dirty. That also saves on a trip as well. I am going to double wrap this, but chances are one may not cover fully, so I'll be using the other one in the other orientation. Hopefully get good coverage. Okay, so that's ready. And now, this is also our time to add a braising liquid. I will probably mix up some, I'll show you, but I'll mix up some beef stock. Okay, so I'm going to mix up a beef stock. I've just got some beef bouillon here. Probably going to mix up about a cup, probably half a cup actually. I don't think I could put a whole cup in the tin foil without losing some of the liquid. So I have no idea how to mix this up. I'm winging it. This is also a chance to add some flavor. I am going to add a little more pepper flavor, so probably like half a teaspoon of pepper. It's really not much. There is some pepper on the outside of the brisket, so that should render some flavor to it. But in the end, this is a massive chunk of meat. I have no idea how much this weighs, but it's a lot. It was really hard flipping that around and manhandling it, trying to get all of the fat and stuff trimmed off. So I'm going to add about half a cup of warm water to this, and I want it to be warm because it'll help sort of dissolve this stuff and get it up in suspension at least. And then I will go out with you. I will take you out with me and show you how to wrap all this up. So of course, one of the drawbacks to being the person who does the smoking, the smoker I guess, is that everything about you smells like smoke, and the meat you smoke doesn't taste all that smoky until the next day. Anyways, it is time to check. Oh yeah, that feels really good. Okay, so I think there's a little bit of resistance in here, so I might let it go a little longer. There was a little bit over here as well, so I'll let that go. Maybe another half hour or so and check it again and see where we're at. Oops. Okay, it's time to check it again. Hopefully it's done this time. It's actually been about 45 minutes, so I gave it a little extra just in case. Oh yeah. Yeah, that feels a lot better, and I think I just poked a hole all the way through it, so it's probably gonna leak. Anyways, I'm gonna get this off. I'm gonna get this, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this rested. Best way to do this would be to like put it in a cooler, wrap it in a towel or an old blanket. I'm gonna just stick it in my turkey roaster and let it sit in there. So I could turn it on and let it warm to a low temperature, but I think it'll stay hot for quite a while. Plus it's outside and it's really hot. So I will show you how it turned out. It's best to clean it while it's still hot, otherwise it's harder to get the stuff off. And my diffuser won't open, of course. It's best to cook with the diffuser closed, but in order to cool it off faster, you want to open it. Plus when you light it, you need to have it open. I learned this the hard way, the cooking with it closed. Otherwise it chars the bottom of your smoke. I will have to fight with that to get it open. Oh, it's not opening. Ah, well. There you go, mostly clean. I always clean out all the ash before I start, because by then it is very cold. I don't have to worry about it being a fire hazard or hot ash or anything being hot. So yeah, unfortunately that's just something I have to do pre-smoke. It's clean out the ash pot, clean out the grease pit, and I give it another wipe down after it warms up, you know, just to get some of the extra cruddy bit off that I didn't quite get last time. There you go, just keep cooling down. Okay, let's open her up. Probably should get the correct knife. There we go. Okay, well I gotta be careful because I'm just sitting on my silpat here and I don't want to destroy it. But So the grain is going kind of in different ways depending on if you're in the point or the flat. So we're going to just kind of cut it in half. Oh boy, that's tender. Try not to cut the tin foil too badly. There we go. Wow, look at that smoke ring. Can you see that? It smells so good. I wish you could smell this. Anyways, so this is a great sort of beginner how to do basic butchering because you kind of have to process the meat and it tastes great, so you get to enjoy it. I think I need to cut it this way to go against the grain. I have no idea. We'll figure it out. See, I'm not very good at this. I'm still learning. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful. I hope you give this a try. Smoking is kind of fun. The pellet grills are pretty easy to work, and I think it's a really good sort of gateway to basic smoking because, you know, at some point everyone sees them on sale somewhere, and it's bound to happen where you're going to buy one. So give it a try, and let me know how it goes. I will pop up some videos for you to enjoy, so go check those out. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.